All right, Julie, we got some bad news.
What happened now?
Shouldn't you be using gloves?
No.
All right, well, a guest canceled.
Not again.
Well, you know what? We're gonna use a pre-tape instead.
Those suck.
Well, you know what? We're running really behind, so we need to get to rehearsal. So can you wrap this up?
All right.
And I will write better jokes.
Welcome on in and call it a night on Fubo Sports Network, the sports show that likes to have a little bit of fun. Today and every day, I'm your host, Julie Stewart-Binks, and on this Tuesday, we are so excited to have SNY NBA insider Ian Begley joining us on the program. Ian, we know you, yes, let's round of applause. We know that you cover the Knicks and Nets, but it has been a very exciting start to the NBA season. In your opinion, just briefly, what stands out most?
Oh my God, Phoenix. I mean, I thought they were going to be horrendous, and here they are. Strong start. Golden State, it's the opposite. We all thought that they would kind of stumble out of the gate, but I think it's been a greater stumble than most of us anticipated. Yeah. And then you look at the Eastern Conference, it's a big mishmash right there. Philadelphia's strong, Milwaukee's strong, but it's so early. Like, people are trying to draw conclusions after 4 games. Let's take a deep breath. It's an 82-game season.
Let's take it down a notch. Okay, we're going to talk everything NBA as well as get Ian's take on what will happen this year with our NBA yearbook. But first, let's dive into tonight's headlines. Just hours before Game 5 of the World Series, Max Scherzer was scratched from the lineup with neck and back spasms. Doctors credit the injury to Scherzer carrying the team all season. See if he can keep carrying them? Nope. 2 models were banned from Nationals Park and all future MLB games after flashing their boobs during Game 5 of the World Series, said a cameraman who claimed he was just reading an article about the game. The rulebook states it very clearly. The only ones allowed to show their boobs at the game are big, drunk, shirtless dudes. Love seeing boobs on TV, too. In other World Series chess news, a fan went viral after choosing to take a home run ball off the chest rather than spill his beers. The fan said the move was inspired by advice from his Little League coach. Specifically, see a doctor about your drinking, son. The New York Giants made a rare trade with the rival Jets for defensive lineman Leonard Williams. In exchange, the Jets will receive a 3rd-round pick in 2020 and a tremendous disappointment to be named later. It's good because it's true, right? It's such an odd trade to happen now. Anyway, good news for the Giants is that Williams will feel right at home playing at MetLife Stadium without a quarterback.
Hey. Wow.
Hey. All right. Patriots coach Bill Belichick joined Don Shula and George Halas as only the third head coach in NFL history to reach 300 wins. Coincidentally, the wins are accompanied by 300 hours of other teams' practice film. Because he's a cheater, allegedly. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James tweeted that he and his family had to evacuate their home because of the raging wildfires in California, driving around for hours looking for hotel vacancy with no luck. "Why didn't you call us first?" said the Chinese embassy.
Oh.
Usually shit hits the fan after James leaves town. Browns receiver Odell Beckham Jr. gave Tom Brady a pair of his goat hair cleats after the game Sunday. And much like the other gifts the Browns offense gave the Patriots, the shoes were run back for a touchdown. It's like, I mean, that joke can run for any team against the Patriots, though, especially the Browns. Celtics big man Taco Fall made his NBA debut at MSG against the Knicks Sunday after fans shouted, "We want tacos." Impressed with their effectiveness, Knicks fans then shouted, "We want Dolan to sell the team."
Poor Knicks fans.
Yeah, it's tough. We're going to talk all about them in a second. That's the headlines, and print it. All right, folks, we are off to a great start today, if I may say so myself. It's going to get even better. We get all the secrets on the start of an NBA season with Ian Begley. All that and more next. Welcome on back to Call It a Night. I'm JSB, and we've got S1Y NBA insider Ian Begley with us. Now, Ian, you cover the Knicks and the Nets, and actually, before we jump into the rest of the league, let's talk about some of the news of the day. We just saw that some stuff came out about Kyrie Irving. He might have some mood swing problems. What more can you give us on this situation?
You know, Kyrie's teammates, past teammates, Boston, Cleveland, have said, like, you know, sometimes you're getting Kyrie's engaged, happy, fantastic teammate. Sometimes you're getting Kyrie, who's moody, you know, not very communicative, and it's just inconsistent. And this seems to be what the Nets are experiencing right now. So it's not exactly a surprise.
Right.
I'd like to think that the Nets knew what they were getting into by signing Kyrie. I'm sure they did. It's just going to be interesting to see how they navigate this thing going forward. Two huge personalities in Durant and Kyrie Irving, and you know, I think this is one of the reasons why some people with the Knicks didn't have strong interest in bringing in Kyrie alone without a second star in free agency. I think they were a little bit concerned about how he might impact the young guys in their locker room. And so it's just a fascinating dynamic over in Brooklyn.
And that seems like something that as fans or media, you could tell just based on the way Kyrie spoke publicly or just his personality. Do you think that this is more than just mood swings?
You know, I don't want to speculate on it. Just hearing what you hear from teammates, it seems like they weren't sure what they were getting every day with him. Whether it's more than that, I'm not sure. But, you know, just from a basketball perspective, an organizational perspective, you know, the Nets had built this fantastic culture with these young guys, getting guys off the scrap heap, Joe Harris's, Spencer Dinwiddie's. And is that culture now compromised because you have these stars? How much do you have to bend to incorporate them into what you do? You know, Kyrie's at the forefront of that, and his personality is at the forefront of that.
And so just to button this up, what do you expect to happen with this going forward? I
think Kyrie has a different level of investment in this Nets team because he chose to be here. It's not like we're Cleveland, where he was drafted and then they brought LeBron James back. It's not like Boston, where he was traded to. He chose to sign with Brooklyn, so I think it's these things, these hiccups, are not going to be a major impetus as they were in past places for Kyrie, because he wants to be here and he knows he needs to make it work.
Right, and you mentioned the Knicks. We saw them go off on Monday night. Bobby Portis with the 28 points and that 15-0 run. Is this, you know, people said this was a revenge game, but can you see this being maybe an identity that the Knicks can move into?
I think what they did in that fourth quarter was they started to move the ball. Julius Randle started to move the ball as the roll man in the pick and roll. That was a big adjustment in that game. That needs to carry itself forward, because too often in the first 4 games, the ball stopped. The offense was very stagnant. There were so many turnovers. It was ugly. But did they find something in that fourth quarter that they can bring with them to Orlando on Wednesday? We'll find out. David Fizdale's been preaching ball movement all preseason. Is it finally getting through to these guys?
And RJ Barrett, the Maple Mamba, my Canadian boy.
That's your guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to see that he seems to have really risen to the occasion early. You know, the first 3 games, he was averaging 21 points. Last night, 19 points. What is his ceiling?
You know, it's hard to say right now. It really feels like he impacts the game in so many different ways. He's talked about wanting to be a two-way player. I think offensively he's further ahead of where he is defensively right now, which is to be expected. But, you know, when you talk about a player with that body type at this age, with the way he lets the game come to him, how comfortable he looks on the floor, I don't know if you can get into his ceiling yet, because particularly if he develops a jump shot and can defend the way he wants to, he's going to be such an impactful player.
Now, just sticking with the Knicks for one more question, but a lot of fans still sort of curious about the whole Kristaps Porzingis trade and whatnot.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, how would you, now that we've seen sort of what's happened, do you think that the Knicks brass, how do you think they feel about the situation?
Well, they have to be confident about it, because this is going to define Steve Mills' legacy and Scott Perry's legacy for the foreseeable future. Whether it works out or it doesn't, this is going to be how people judge this team and this regime. You know, Kristaps Porzingis is such a talented player. He's had health issues. He had health issues in New York. He couldn't always stay on the court. But if he is healthy in Dallas and he and Luka Doncic become a premier team in the Western Conference and the Knicks don't continue to take steps forward, I really think that's going to bury this front office. So they're confident. They like what they did, but, you know, the proof is in the results, and we're going to have to wait and see on that.
Now, you mentioned at the top of the show about the Warriors. They've been such a story to start this year. They did get their first win on Monday, but, you know, is the dynasty over?
Yes, it is over. You know, Klay Thompson, if he comes back, the Warriors become a playoff team and a team that teams in the West will have to worry about. But I don't see this team competing for any titles as currently constituted. Maybe Bob Myers has something up his sleeve where they can get another star or get more depth on the bench and they become a significant player in the West. But right now, no Kevin Durant, obviously, and just that bench is so thin, and they're going to rely so much on Stephen Curry without Klay Thompson. It's going to be a struggle a little bit for Golden State.
Yeah, and then when you look at LA, you've got Kawhi versus, you know, LeBron and AD. It is a Lakers town, but who do you see owning that court?
I think it's going to be the Clippers. Again, you talk about depth and just that team with the core that they had last year. You know, people don't even talk about, you know, Landry Shamet, Montrezl Harrell, and then Lou Williams. So much depth there. And then you add Paul George and you add Kawhi Leonard. It's just an incredible roster for Doc Rivers to work with. And I just think they have so much more depth than the team across town. It's always going to be a Lakers town, but the Clippers are the better team this year.
They're exciting watching you when you see Kawhi turn it on, as I saw in Toronto last year.
Yes, you
was
did.
Fantastic. And they're going to be better. I'm going to take the inside on this. I think Toronto's going to be better than people expect.
Julie, can I just circle back on one thing previous segment? Just that boobs story that you mentioned.
Yes.
I just want to make clear to my wife, honey, that was the first time that I'm hearing of this story. I was totally unaware of this. No idea that it happened. Didn't
We prepped him, don't worry.
Stunned.
I was really glad that we talked so much boobs in this show. But got to ask you one more thing, though, about Zion Williamson.
Sure.
Out 6 to 8 weeks. A lot of people now wondering, you know, whether we were worried about what his body would be like, how it would hold up in the NBA. What do you think happens, the expectations with him going forward?
Well, I think the expectations are still sky high. That doesn't change based on a knee injury that's going to keep him out 2 months. I mean, this kid is so electric, and those expectations are based on what you saw at Duke. But the issue is the weight, and the Pelicans say that this injury had nothing to do with his weight. They're not concerned about the weight. They have to say that publicly. But I have to think behind closed doors, both them and the people around Zion are concerned, and they're going to try to make correctments because he's so explosive and he relies on such a degree of athleticism that to carry around 285 pounds on your frame and try to jump out of the gym over 82 games, it's just not conducive to staying healthy. So I think they do need to make an adjustment there.
Yeah, definitely. And the Pelicans will want him back healthy, as they have yet to record a win this season. Thank you so much, Ian, for all the insight. We could keep peppering you with questions, not about boobs, though, but we are going to take a break right now. We are going to be hitting the streets when we come back with our intrepid reporter, Mike Lockyer, to find out what fans want to do to change the game of hoops to make it more exciting. Listen up, Adam Silver, next.
We're a week into the NBA season, and to me, the game feels a little stale. So I hit the streets of New York with some ideas on how to make the game a little more exciting. Would you support a 4-point line for guys like Steph Curry?
A 4-point line? Abso-freaking-lutely.
You bet. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Heck yeah.
No.
No 4-point line.
No.
Keep it simple, straight, 2, 3 points.
Leave it the way that it is.
Oh, absolutely. I think that you should score 4 points with every basket.
4 points with every basket.
Yeah, can you imagine?
After 2 overtimes, should it go to a half-court shootout?
No.
No, you know, why not?
Hell no.
I think it would be very dramatic.
That could be fun.
Right?
Yeah, that would be really
Oh,
fun.
man, lights go down, one guy alone on the court.
Yeah, why not?
No.
Come on, that would be so exciting.
I like 4 overtimes.
No, bring on the third overtime. Let's party.
You just keep it going.
Yeah, baby.
Keep it going. Okay, I like this.
I was a rugby player, so
Okay, what's that overtime like?
that is no overtime. You just kill each other.
Are NBA players getting too tall, and should there be a height limit?
No.
Keep them tall?
Keep on Space Jam tall.
No.
No height limit.
No height limit.
Absolutely.
Right? They're gonna get soon. They're just gonna be able to drop the basketball in the hoop.
Yes.
So we need to limit the height.
4'10".
I think they should be as tall as they can be.
Like, can we wheelchair a really tall guy to make him shorter?
Oh.
There should not be a limit at all.
Are NBA players getting too tall, and should there be a height limit?
No.
Should referees actually call traveling this year?
Definitely. They never do.
They never do.
They need to be called.
No, they should not.
No, just walk with the ball if you want.
Who needs rules?
Call traveling, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you got to dribble the ball.
Please. Please do. Please do.
This is we're begging you.
Begging.
We're begging.
Please.
Yeah.
Bring back the real refs,
Who are the real refs?
the women.
Should Red Bull take over as the official drink of the NBA?
No.
I don't know. I really love Gatorade. I would love to see them have a shot.
I hate to break it to you, but Gatorade is the official drink of the NBA.
I know.
He knows. He's playing with me.
I mean, I like my rock stars better than Red Bulls, but I mean, it's all about the money, right?
Should Rockstar take over as the official drink of the NBA?
I mean,
Red Bull, as long as it's not Monster.
Okay. Yeah. Make them a little hyper out there. Let's get things up. Sometimes they saunter with that ball.
Kemba Walker was sauntering around on Wednesday night. Kemba, 10 points? Are you kidding me? Kyrie did 50. Step it up.
Well, the streets have spoken. The only question is the NBA listening? No, they're probably not.
No, they're definitely not listening. But you did a great job, as always, Mike. Ian, what do you think of some of those recommendations from the streets of New York?
I don't like any of them, to be honest with you.
They stink.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
I would like to see the Red Bull as the drink of choice for the players put in place. I think that would be fascinating.
Yes, it would be fascinating. A case study in heart palpitations, I guess. Now, speaking of crazy ideas, we wanted to get Ian's take on what will happen this year by fast-forwarding all the way to June. School's out, class is over, and the awards are given in our NBA yearbook. Wow. What an animation. Let's begin with Best Dressed.
I'm the last one to comment on fashion. I have no fashion
Oh, come on.
No, it's been about 10 years since I've worn something that's in vogue. But even I know that Russell Westbrook is the best dressed guy in the NBA. I mean, the Rockets put a red carpet in their arena for him and Harden to have a little fashion show pregame. That tells you all you need to know
Yeah, it's a
about
very interesting
what he's
game
wearing
day
every
ops
night.
idea,
Yeah.
but I love that. Yeah, he always has something funny. He had something, I believe, last night, probably wild as well. Let's get into something also fun. Class clown. Who do you expect this to be?
Joel Embiid, I mean, I love what he does on social media, especially after games, like when he has a big game against, like, let's say an Andre Drummond or a Hassan Whiteside. He always takes funny shots at them, and he says he's not going to do it this year. He's done trash talking. There's no way. He loves it.
Especially on Twitter, too.
He loves it. He
Tweets
can't
at
get enough.
LeBron James forever, just like trying to get him to come to Philly. It was
And
quite
Rihanna. a few years ago.
yeah. No, we need guys like him in the league. Okay, who do you think is going to be headed for Hollywood? And we mean this in the movies.
Right, so Kyrie Irving, he starred in a film already, the Uncle Drew
Right,
pick. I mean,
yeah.
say what you want
What a
about
hit.
the quality of the acting, but I feel like it probably made enough money where they'll do something else and they'll do another, remake for Uncle Drew, and he'll get a cast of characters. Maybe Kevin Durant will be in the movie this time, but I think while he's not the best actor in the league, he's most likely to get another.
Who do you think's the best actor in the league? Throwing you.
Wow. I don't think anyone's very good.
No one's really.
I'm not a cinephile, but I don't think
honestly, LeBron is a good actor, though.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, Trainwreck, he was great in that.
He was good in Trainwreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made me laugh in
Yeah.
Trainwreck. Amari, who's not in the NBA, Amari Stoudemire, was good in Trainwreck.
Yeah, and we got to hear Space Jam 2 will be, or 3, whatever one it's on now.
Two?
2. Okay. I thought I missed one. I didn't. Okay, next. Most talkative.
Patrick Beverley. I mean, you just saw the other day with what he had to say to Steph Curry about how the next 5 years are mine. And Steph had a funny retort. He said, "Aren't you 31?" According to a report. But he always has something to say on the court. He's a fantastic defender. It leaves people to not pay attention to what he doesn't give them on offense, which I think is smart by him. But he's such a good talker, and he makes the league more entertaining.
Yeah, he's always barking out there. Okay. Now, let's see who is most likely to lose an NBA Finals.
The Milwaukee Bucks. They're on that trajectory to where they've advanced in the playoffs. They've kept a lot of continuity together for the most part. I love the coaching staff there. Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously, I think they all take the next step together as a group to get through the East, and then they lose to whatever juggernaut comes out of the West.
How come? Why do you think that they're going to be the ones?
You know, I think that what they've done this offseason, I know they lost some key guys, but they kept the core mostly intact. And again, I just love Mike Budenholzer and the way he coaches that team, the way he has prioritized three-point shooting for the group around Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think, again, he takes the next step forward. I think his outside shooting improves, and just the experience that they've had and he's had in the playoffs, he knows what it takes now. And I know they've worked really hard as a group over the summer to get going this season.
Yeah, tough to be beaten by a Canadian team. Couple of nobodies last year. Who do they lose to, though?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm going to go with the Clippers. Yeah, I think the depth is there, the star power is there. As long as they can keep Kawhi healthy, as long as Paul George comes back healthy, I think they're the team to beat in the West.
Ooh, that's exciting. Man, Kawhi getting another ring.
You would love that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I got one, so it's all right. Whatever. We're not real journalists on this program. Last one, most likely to win a Grammy.
I'm going to go Damian Lillard. Again, I'm not the fashion. Same thing with music. I listen to children's music now. I have 2 young kids.
Oh, you do? Okay, what are you into?
I haven't heard any. I'm not into any of it, but I do sing along with the kids. So I say that to say I haven't heard any new music in a couple of years, but I've heard that Lillard is a skilled lyricist, so I think he'll continue along that path, and he's better than Shaq, I've heard. I heard they did a little battle this summer, and he won the battle, so I'm going Damian.
Shumpert's also a rapper, too, but
he's not in the league
good.
right now.
Not good.
Yeah,
he's not in the league also.
And not good.
And not good.
Wow.
And not good.
Killing.
All right, this has been real great yearbook. Thank you so much for helping us with these predictions. We've got more hoops, news, and notes on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. We aren't calling it a night just yet. Back after this. Welcome on back. We've been so fortunate to be joined by NBA insider Ian Begley, who's been enlightening us on the start of an exciting season. And we know that you cover both the Knicks and Nets. That's got to be a lot to manage. Where can we find you next?
Yeah, I'll be at the Nets on Wednesday for their game against the Pacers, going to Boston for the Knicks game on Friday. In between then, changing diapers and watching Sesame Street at home. Yeah.
Got all your bases covered there.
In case anyone was interested.
Yeah, but you mentioned during the break that even though the Nets, there's a lot of hope on them, the Knicks still run everything. Yeah, locally, I mean, I think the Knicks are still the dominant story. You know, maybe that changes when Kevin Durant comes back, although I don't think so, because the Knicks, people are so ingrained with this team. It's like a generational thing. It is, yeah. So I don't think that changes anytime soon. All right, well, hopefully for Knicks fans, they can have something to cheer about this year than just the one win last night. Great stuff, Ian. We really appreciate you taking the time to dish the dirt on the NBA. Love to have you back anytime again. And in the meantime, folks, don't miss us this Thursday at 7 p.m. for our Halloween episode. We're going to get spooky and have an actual ghost as a guest, as well as Stanley Cup champion Pat Maroon. You better not miss it, but for now, we're going to call it a night.